Please, I understand how you could even take me in, but you don't know what it
This is, well, it is improvised in the sense that it's not scripted. I was talking to a friend about that the other night, and somebody right away, sorry, I'm a little bit dry. I did a short podcast a little earlier, and I'm kind of still waking up. I just did a physical activity as well. Um, and the dogs already, now the dogs being my friend Michelle, one that I'm recently thinking of, who sees me lighting up with excitement and it's like, oh, he must be podcast. No, but sorry, just a moment. I'm just noticing. I'm just noticing that was on a bit louder than I thought it was. You know what? I'm gonna. I gotta be careful, and I don't remember what's out there, but this I could do all this with one hand. So first, I'm gonna show how to recognize that you're talented, even if you forget that you are, even if you, even if you, man, I'm feeling some deep stuff, and this is why I wasn't sure. I'm loving it, but there was a little uncertainty. Truth be told, partly because I don't feel like necessarily since relaunching the channel after quite a long while, well, for the most part, um, I don't feel like, oh, I'm just realizing something else too. And this is okay. I'm just ooh, baby. Woo. My goodness. Okay. So I wanna I'm a performer and I'm an entertainer, and we need those in life. And the part of the cat when I did the previous one, I had to repaste in the thing I pasted into the live chat because it wasn't there. But I just want to remember what it takes. The description part says I wasn't going to read it. I put the arrows down, but let me just see here. Being your true authentic self, um, which is actually maybe not what I want to first address because some people that sometimes myself included that can be hard. um, there was somebody briefly there. They probably thought, yeah, who knows? This is the thing, yo. Yo, listen up. um, since and the laughter, there it is, right? Since I have started kind of making little jokes when I happen to notice the indicator, because it's actually part of the reason too with this channel so far. And I mean, we're fine with that, I mean, it's YouTube, so you can't say this completely and mean it, I suppose, or you have to say it with a grain of salt. It's the internet, But basically, quality over, well, that is how they usually say it, isn't it? And um, I was just realizing that, not that anybody's here now, but for anybody who sees this afterwards, who's new to the channel, who's watched a little, or been a lurker, a peeping Tom, just kidding. Didn't mean to, but we'll say, well, you have a lot of quantity lately, but not much quality. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing. I think that we all know and experience that, well, here's the thing. We're more like, here's the thing. I'm going to finally get to the thing, I promise. Here's the thing. We're more. I bet not ROFLMAO. We're on the floor laughing for the older folks. No, kidding. Or for those that don't know. Like, this is the thing. My God. I'm not, honestly, now I'm not joking. It's just coming out. And I better get to the damn thing before I forget what it is. Because I tell you, this thing has been evolving. And, but this is the. Fuck's sake. Okay. Sorry. Pardon my friends. Oh, I hope that this is making your day. Just starting to. What am I looking for when I came out here? Oh God. it's another one of those moments, and actually I'm gonna try a multitask here, and you're thinking, yeah, don't think you're gonna. This is the thing. I don't think you're gonna succeed the way you're going now. Um, but well, for all I know, this friend of mine felt well last night, and for whatever reason, maybe he kind of woke up as well, congested, and um, you're likely just heading to work, just so that people. I don't really with this particular what I'm showing. I don't really mind, and it's just I just want people to know. Although maybe I'd be making that typing face. I just want people to. Well, who are my best followers? I'm not saying you have to be. You have to be. You do have to be my follower though. You do have to love me, or at least like me. Anywho, but the point of the matter is, um, well, yeah, they say know your audience. I mean, I think I have a diverse audience because I'm a diverse person. When they say you can't please everybody, well, not only will I try, but the other thing is that I'm also just being very natural, actually being very myself, and and um, uh, sorry. So and I think it was always a little bit of my personality, whether it's like as a performer or, you know, um, could be the word podcast. And I didn't realize the effects of the cat working in, and maybe the gummy. Uh, so let's say 9:30 a.m. No, that's now 9:15 a.m. to okay. That would have been 11:44 p.m. Okay. Um. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. So, yes, and I just got. I didn't go shopping. We had delivered. I just got groceries put away, but I'm gonna have to. I can only say it as much as I can say it during, and do as best as I can do there, and also for anybody that sees this back. And actually, this has happened before. Different um, potentially mixtures, different things I'm noticing perhaps. And here's the thing: I'm very laid back. I'm I try my best to see all kinds of perspectives. Man, the other day I said, and I was starting to get a dry mouth too. The other day I said, and if I have to, I will in this, but I said to my friend, I have a bit of a legacy, but essentially I don't have enough of a legacy that I would like to leave. And I don't remember if we said much else on that. Oh my God. Sorry. Um, and like I said, there's nobody here watching now. I mean, but at the same time, even though it takes energy, people won't know unless they know. Some people might recognize what it looks like because of personal experience or their work or whatever. Um, but I think what I am going to do is put this here. Um, and um, well, some people like living on the wild side, and I was just kind of, and she said that, that's a, oh, she said, hey, baby, take a walk on the wild side. So it's becoming one of those improvised shows. It's a bit of music, it's a bit of talk, and the dog's laying there, looking calm, looking used to it, rolling his eyes occasionally. Um, but um, just want to quickly see here. Uh, I'm saying somewhat. So, well, no, I'm not. I'm not saying that I'm mad at somebody said something. I'm saying somewhat. No, I'm just kidding. This now has an additional topic. um, but my friend did say some people will have a hard time. Neurodivergent minds. You want to say ADHD? I did just say that a little earlier, but at the same time, um, that means, like we say, we're very diverse, and we're empaths and that as well. Which I think most of us are, even those of us that may think we're not. Um, I think what I'm also this is, again, as I mentioned earlier, the internet. So there's so much stuff, and people do post their trips. Um, the difference is, um, I was just adding to the comment there. And again, I thought, like, when you're looking in the small thing you type, which normally even we send it through, it's like, oh, it just got shorter. Like something missing. I don't notice it all the time, or maybe certain devices, but okay. So, this way I don't have to keep repeating it, because the people can see the live chat. And on this channel, it's not usually so rapid, just because it's not for everybody as much as it could be if people, were patient or whatever, or or some people were more patient, as much as it could be, very much. I wish I knew where that damn color went. It very much fears that damn blah, 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 blah. Where to go? Um, um, One thing I will say that I do notice, it's okay. First of all, before I forget, because this is, I think, quite a interesting realization and point. Um, Two things, actually, very important. Um, Everybody is different. Their genetic compounds and chemistry, their shapes, sizes, color, all that, right? But I mean, some of these make not. It's not excluding any of those, but it's saying that some of these have more of a inter. Some of these, watch. It was like, oh, it didn't say they were here, but they were here, and they're angry. So what are you trying to say? No, um, are more good to remember. My friend's gonna have a lot to say about this video, perhaps, except she's quite busy. So I don't know how much of it you'll see and when she'll get to it, but and what I'm needing to talk about. Okay, so the other thing, before I forget, because I think I kind of said that thing, is that I've almost forgotten this thing now. Everybody's different, but yet so alike. That's not what it was, but it's and ah, so my, and I know this is an adult. Well, this is a topic. I want to let the viewer know that I feel like it's important to look at the 2 or 3 line comment that the one that starts with cannabis. Okay, I was gonna say if you plan to watch this, and now that nobody they left, like you can tell me what to read, dude. Like that it's interesting. So earlier I was gonna say that I still didn't finish that statement. Oh, that my experience with cannabis products is limited. Is like a few puffs every now and then. Is like the occasional gummy, and um, I've met someone who see part of the thing is that you know it's a great connection um, in this realm of cannabis and in general. It's while the importance in life, and I do feel like some have been like, first thing I want to make sure that I do say is that um, the first time that I was like, this is the first time that it's happened where I've been in a bit of a trip uh, due to cannabis products that actually I did realize. I think I was doing a podcast, and this was so this tells me how long it's been a bit more actively posting. We have been more actively posting, me and the other person in this house, because luckily, in some ways, going through this is this it's true. Well, and there is such a thing as lightweight. Maybe I'm a really lightweight. But like again, reminder, please, people. No, although I am inserting humor, I'm not actually trying to be funny. Just kidding. But no. Like I'm not trying to make light of what I'm going through. Like it's on one side of things, very it's diverse. Like I am really. It's entertainment. It's education. It's curiosity. It's you know and honestly, all one thing I will say, and I don't necessarily remember them other than the ones that are happening right now. Ask me later and ask me if I remember them. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, because I woke up this morning feeling fine, and I'm loving how I do that. By the way, not to toot my own bugle, as I say, but lately I've been doing that. I feel like I'm in a musical or something. It's like I just burst into song, and that's a way to get little snippets of cover songs, variety, because in a way, this is a variety show. Wow, you know, and actually, she has a video, well, her channel kind of, but she has a video of a circus, and anyway, where's that clown nose, George? I'll be the clown. Anyway, so one thing, I don't know what I hope. I've had high hopes, um, so I don't know if I hope that this is the first of many, the last frontier. No, the the last trip I ever have. Um, you know, or yeah, I mean, I thought there was a third one, but maybe it's just that it's either you know this way or actual traveling. it's either and I don't know. I mean, possibly I'll stop it again. Like if I really, really feel like if I don't slow down, I might die, and we'll see, and we'll see, which I tell myself what's part of my journey. Um, but I I am very tenacious, and I have been in life again. That's not something that people need to try and like coax in each other. Um, it is part of being a human, but unfortunately, we should not have to be, most of us, as to live this life. You have to be. It's one thing I notice, even though I'm quite sensitive, or I don't know if I like the, I don't know which I prefer, to be honest. Uh, I don't want to say I'm quite well, but I did. But anyway, if I prefer, um, how many times calling different? How many limes? I did need some good laughter though. I try and live because I'm not tripping in all of them. Uh, I try and live. Um, Important to note. Um, um, has it seriously only been 22 minutes? I know I did a short one, I think, before we got our grocery delivery, but has it really only been 22 minutes with this one? And what I am noticing actually is there's some similarities actually between. But what if I post that though? I just felt like I had to bring attention again to like does seem to actually be feeling my blood because like lately, even if I don't actually have to hold it, although the other day was a call and I did leave once I needed to, or one or two other times, but hey, maybe that's how I can get through my podcast without getting up for the washroom. You know, perhaps she says, now that first part was just a test to see how you do. And honestly, well, she has the information that we sent her, but she because she's in Ontario, she couldn't get me the stuff. Hasn't got me the stuff yet. Just made it. Nice little bottle. My name on it. Um, you get my name on it too. So this is what it. If you have. Oh, I need to wait for a viewer to say this. Not that the rest of it isn't important. And I really feel like this would apply to everybody. It's not a cell phone, which is good because it gives me some privacy because it ebbs and flows. But it's like, and usually I'm not able to ignore it once I start to notice it, that sensation. But this time I started to notice the sensation, and then it went away, and now it's kind of there again. So saying what time it is here is not going to do anything in the comments because uh, it depends on the time difference, time zones, right? Um, um, I don't want it to seem like there's one you can emphasize like that something important is coming or an important section. This is things about society and digital talk is that we see capitalization as shouting. And it almost makes me think of that thing at Ford actually because there was something capped about that. The email, my sincere apology. I mean, again, talking about someone who's fairly sensitive, and she said, and I don't even know if she read the content or if it was just, or even the words of the title. Like, seriously, whether they're tripping or for some other reason, sometimes, Spectrum, um, I hope I capitalized enough. At least that stands out. Yeah, that's a way you can do it. People say it's always hard to read tone, whether they're talking about caps or not. But things can just be confusing sometimes too, even if just briefly. Um, and now I don't notice the sensation. Again, I think what's important to note, just in case there's like, we did a study and there's actually a lot of unreported cases of people having this symptom when doing this. And it's interesting also to, even if my friend pre-started it, sorry, that's chapstick. It's the one I have handy at the moment. Even if my friend, I would recommend. I wish I could. Oh, I can. No, but in the description too. Wow, look at that. Um, Okay. There's nobody here, of course, but to hear me say it. But I don't think it is any of this because it is. It's very important. Again, we're more alike than we're different. Most of us, and like there's always going to be somebody out there like us. Mine, we can only be us as well. I mean, that actually reminded me of one of the other parts that I wanted to mention in this video, which I believe I have some going in the live chat here, which doesn't always display afterwards. What I think is also maybe important to know. Okay. But I do want to be, well, some experts would say that um, if somebody says, I want to make a point to watch all this later because it's intriguing. It's not even that I'm trying to do it to be intriguing. I mean, I've been meaning to say for a bit now that not that, I mean, if this happens, I'm gonna go. I'm either gonna think I'm insane because I'm not actually as I'm doing this. Sorry, I'm putting lotion on. Anybody that sees my videos know that I have to. Sorry, I have to. Yeah. But what it does is it heightens what's already within, what's already there, and what's within. No, I mean, I'm thinking that I don't even know if I get up the stairs with it. First of all, second of all, it's kind of like it's like I don't want everybody else to get it's not ruining my laptop that's ancient but working great. um, but I'd be like, our laptop. Okay. But anyway, but I'd still probably pull what I need to pull out and move around with it, even if I stationed it on the thing. Um, heightens kind of mostly the good feelings in my experience. And I've had like 3 or 4, and yes, I see 3 and 4 fingers. The thumb isn't even a finger, so now I'm gonna have to do math. God. No, and I didn't mean to say, oh God, I have to do math, although that kind of worked. Because yeah, I'm not a big fan of it for the most part. I have a feeling Mark's probably a mathematician. He'd have to be pretty good at math when he does. Watch him see this. This is why you said. This is why you said. Said at the beginning of the call that if we did, or said, however, the only thing is that like then I'm away from Tuesday to. And I wasn't tripping. I wasn't tripping. So I heard what you said, mate. Tuesday to what was it? Um, First of all, this is not leading to an insult. If you know if you recognize this, and what and in one way or another, and you think it's talking about you and our connection that we have and are having, um, Mark from the phones. I'm not saying anything bad to you about you or to you. um, I felt like I should edit the caption just in case, even though the live chat's not that active, maybe some people have a habit looking at the title, reading that. Just people have methods to their YouTubing. I do probably too. I feel like that came up recently in one of the videos, but then I also feel like it's the first time I felt it. I've heard it. Anyway. They read the thing first, then they do the other thing. Sometimes thoroughly, sometimes skimming. What? Are there some people out there that then say they give it a day and decide, do I still want to watch that? Do I still want to spend time? Do I want to? Does that curiosity, or they give it? No, like they say a couple of days. That's a damn long time. Couple seconds, like come on, places to go, people see do. Again, and I've wanted to say this like 2 or 3 times so far, and it hasn't happened. And I've also I was thinking this thing because not that I'm trying to say I'm the most hot and important thing on the internet. Not that I'm trying to say I'm not. Either. But um, again, important to note. But nobody's you know anybody who sees anything that I've written, uh, or that, and then watch what his friends gonna see, and you look a lot like your father, and you think you're going crazy. This is like an OBE cat. Man is crazy. Stay away from skin, or he's good. That didn't even phase the dog. He's laying on his side and just stretched, because stretching's good. I think I found our entertainment for tonight. If we get there, life is short, but oh, the moving things that were said, you know, it's memories, and I'll say them how I'll say them in the mode that I'm in, and maybe she will. And there's lots of Glen bands in the world. Woo-hoo. And there's actually a few with my name. There is. That would be good, but lately, but um, any of those. But no. But seriously, there is. There's actually a local one. Spells it different. Um, I had a connection to this person I lost very young at diabetes, with diabetes. Gonna recap symptoms that I've had since I honestly feel like it kind of kicked in not long after I started this. I know they say it's perception of time or whatever, but no, I seriously feel like I was putting away the rest of the groceries. Like I said, didn't shop, had them delivered. And while I was finishing doing so, and in fact, I didn't even, this is in Canada, it was like $30. No, sorry. We got it down to just under 100. We got it a little closer to 100. I think it was like 40 items um, of what we bought. We were a little adventurous, but mostly weren't. Anyway, point matter is I was thinking of the title then, and I felt fine. I did some minor setup. I've learned another editing skill in this, how to add a description. So if there isn't enough to process, just kidding. But and then I have a question. Hello, welcome to the I have a question line. I have a question. What is your question? um, One of those damn moments when you forget, and then you have to wait on hold forever. And by the time you reach a person, you've forgotten again. Just kidding. I almost forgot what the question was, actually. It was a while back. I'm going to say probably a month ago. Um, no, my best estimate, actually, I'm not even going to make an estimate. What I'm going to say is, um, where's the chapstick? um, it was, oh, goodness gracious. And I feel mostly okay. I feel a little bit more okay than I did like only 10 minutes ago, or like not, yeah, 10, yeah. Definitely, when you're on a trip, you have to be probably preferably with somebody else around if possible. Um, but just in case. And I would actually say the first few, I I could stand up. You could look at me. You could look at some of my other videos and see. Because actually, I don't know if I could. I had more than just this one over here, and I don't know where it is now. But um, I want to take a moment to remember that. Um, yeah, like no, all I want to say is that there is a couple of videos, and they say not okay. Well, I don't know when people are going to see this because, as I said to someone the other day, you never know how much browsing someone's going to do, and they'll click what. Some will be very sequential. Some will be like, no, I'm gonna watch for a while and look and see what interests me, and blah blah blah. And I do it too. But anywho, um, I'll try and remember to put a link in the comments if I can, if that's allowed on here. But I improvised. I did some improvising, and it was just me. But then you would know that. I was. The stills might be kind of interesting because I was using different rooms with the laptop actually, and the thing I'm looking for is in this pocket. But I think you can hear me from there. So, um, but um, boom, and I have this thing I don't usually wear, which has pockets I don't usually use, but I've started using, and that's my reading face. Okay. Sometimes I've mentioned the importance of breathing a few times lately, actually. And this doesn't look like it's in all of it, but it does say it's charging. Um, and truth be told, I can't be the only one. And if so, well, lucky me, I'm a first. I'd be a Guinness record, a legacy. I said, I bet you every place has somebody who set a Guinness record. I guess some people can change it. This says translate from English to such and such. So I could be reaching people that speak not English, even though I don't speak their language. Wow. Whoa, that's interesting. How have I never realized that? I know about translation, it's true, but like something like a video. Although I would say that I don't think captioning has come far enough along, or it might still be something that's a lot of countries don't have. Maybe they're starting to, and then yeah, I mean that doesn't exist in your day. I mean, and it's not perfect. Sometimes it has some funny typos, right? But that doesn't exist in your. But didn't take two. I think I almost took two. And then I was like, oh no, I did take one. I would certainly not recommend I don't know if you saw me there for a moment, or again, you can check my other videos. In fact, interestingly enough, just last night, I did a video and it was at the end of a long day, and I thought I haven't played guitar standing up in a while because I don't go out before much, and when I did, I would sit most of the time. Um, but there's something about it, somebody, and actually, I was just thinking of somebody else with the same first name. What happened? Um, Watch the B here. You see this? He's like, I knew there was yeah, it's a guy. I knew there was a reason I watched this show to the this thing to the end. You mentioned me. It's like he said, once for the first time. I mean, I play some of his back sometimes. He says the other day, he says, um, "You're talking about me." It says, "Yeah, what makes you say it?" He's like, "I don't know." And then it's like what you talking about, Willis? He's like, then we kind of talk about tone. That's came up before. So remember, when you're tripping, when you're living, breath. I mean, don't all go around breathing like dragons, but one thing I do notice with the trips, and I remember that before too, is it kind of dips, comes and goes. At least what it looks like podcasting it. It also depends. I was gonna say what your goal is, but this was not my goal when I started it necessarily. Now it's my goal, my legacy to keep going. I mean, it's interesting though. What I was saying is, like, I'm not addicted. I truly know me and all that. I've been very. I mean, I'm human. I'm not perfect. I could do better things for my health or whatever. Um, but hmm, when I started this, yeah. So that's like I said, I was unpacking the groceries, had the title idea, sat down, set it up. I honestly really feel like it was like honestly not intended, but as soon as I hit live, if there's I don't see them, but if there's timestamps on the comments, like, and then as I started talking, and I mean, I talked a little bit in this morning, very brief. Well, about the average, about 25 minutes, pretty much. I'm seeing stars. I don't know if I've ever actually experienced that. Briefly, I just saw stars, you know? So, like, it can, like, here's a question. Here's a question, yo. Have you ever been a medium or been someone that channeled, had a trip on cannabis, and how strong and powerful did that get for you combining them? Because to be quite honest, I am fairly thankful and fine with the level that I feel my loved ones that have passed. Sure, sometimes it might like to be a little more. Otherwise, I'm pretty good and I'm comforted and happy and want to bring that to others who probably can give it to themselves, but different people at different times in their life. I'm not out to scam anybody. I do have to make it in the world, and I also want to help the world. When I started this video, all I was feeling, now it's on both sides and bit in my throat, was essentially what I would say what it feels like. And yes, I have been talking a lot, but at that point, like a little to myself, maybe because I'm home alone, but I put the groceries away mostly in silence. I mean, sure, maybe I don't realize how much I talk to myself, but I also I've been told I'm very aware. Anywho, so what felt like, when you have your mouth open too long and it's just really dry, or like when you're at the dentist, and actually I think just when I started this, there was something on the radio about dentistry. It's telling me I should book a dentist appointment maybe, but I don't know. Um, and then so like I said, this is what a trip looks like. For those, yeah. I tried to, interestingly, that one comment that starts with, again, not shouting, this video has turned into, without a finger shake too, actually, but um, that comment in the live stream, and if it doesn't show, because, I mean, if it's just one thing, I can put it there, like the previous one, but it says, should I read these? Let's read my own chat stream. I mean, I don't even actually know if there's been anyone here on the top at all this time. And I know that y'all haven't left me, subscribers, and this is the general public too. And I had this vision earlier, like I was gonna say, watch this be the one. One of the biggest statements I feel like I've ever made. In this one sentence and almost in this video, and I'm gonna say 500 people are here, or whatever. But again, I don't need 500 people here. I mean, if it happens, fine. I mean, but myself, Spirit Source, and those who come along for the ride, like some of this just feels so poetic. It's like it's really reminding me of that other thing, and I didn't think. And I know we have shared devices. Did he get it? No, I watched it. I kind of, anyway, well, or it notifies or whatever. But it's almost as if I don't know if I can make sense of it, to be honest. But I really fairly strongly feel like I was not. And then maybe there's supposed to be a part two, which is very specific. This is what I like, but I don't want them to say, I don't want somebody who's an EMS worker somewhere to like start typing in, okay, this person, think you mentioned this, or I mean, there is like say more than one that go by this name. Somebody's like, oh no, I recognize that person because this is the internet. It's a small world but a big world, and like I know where they live, blah blah blah, and he's having an emergency, blah blah. I'm not, but but I don't think that should be the title. It's important sometimes to have a good title. Honestly, sometimes I don't try very hard and it's just like, oh, that sounds like a good title. And but because this is getting a little bit long, and I'm thinking I don't want to get a lot longer, but I don't know if I want to stop tripping. So, but I don't want to title it, having a lot, although, but then some people will take it that way, and I just, mostly, okay. I don't really need. But yes, this feels a lot like that time. Remember back in the day, when so it wasn't recent, like I say, from the date of this video. It was, oh goodness gracious me, I'm floating while trying to get these pillows to behave. It, and I wouldn't mind one here. I guess it doesn't have to be big. It's not big enough though. Dog soundly asleep. It's looking especially fluffy on his one leg, and sometimes that's the look it gets when it's ready to pluck. When it's then he moves it. If there was a viewer here, I'd read that. Well, I can still see numbers read. I mean, I'm not experiencing the, part of me wants to say the worst, or at least the most interesting and wild parts of this at the moment, as I wobble the thingy. I'm multitasking. But I'm feeling that dryness in my throat. Now, of course, some of these symptoms, but this is what I can't say. This is what I can't say. Um, for people that aren't like me, so if you know someone who's similar to me, or if you're similar to me, or you want to know someone similar to me, I know what that's like. Then you're in the right place. Just kidding. Oh gosh. Uh, I mostly feel, gives us these kind of experiences when we need them in life, if we need them in life, or if we're meant to be just the observer. And I don't know, I suppose I don't know if at any point anybody panicked. Okay, I'm like, I keep almost, you know, and now it's showing that. Anyway, what I'm doing now is another editing and tip strategy. I mean, it's helpful because nobody's there, but I think I would be pretty good at it anyway. Oops. Okay, well, that one's so much shorter. I'm just going to take this one and I'll say this one. No, I want them both. I want them both. So I know that there is a lot to read. I don't know. I can't take a screenshot, or can I? Video, video. Say, oh, well, more tricks and tips. And I've edited the description while rolling. I'm pulling out some key things from my notes, I guess you could say, while rolling. I'm putting it. My grandmother, my dad, and probably some relatives I don't even know. Maybe I'll know them soon. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I don't think I have the energy for that. What it is, I tried to take two comments that I really wanted to put in there in the comment section, which can only be so many characters, or at least in the live chat. I didn't notice some of them seem to be white or white. Oh no, this is long. Yeah. I can't take them all with me unless I screenshot it. And then I don't know on this device if I know how to screenshot in YouTube comment the chat. And no, I think there is a year limit. That's why I think there is. I do think sometimes. and if you're a very aware person too. And again, this is the thing. A lot of these things I was without taking anything. Like I didn't even like I say, I didn't realize it was, and then it was like, oh yeah, I took this. And actually, it's only 10:19. I sent her when I took it in a message. So I'm sorry about this back, but it. But did I say when I did that improv thing? And like I say, it is from 3 weeks to a month from today's date, the video stamper. I didn't feel like I had taken anything that day. I just thought I was having something else I seem to remember, but I don't remember what. Got me in a good mood. And I mean, I've been in a fairly decent mood lately, all things considered in some ways. Um, and that's just kind of happened again naturally. Like, so do the research, use this as it, because like some people, I don't know if, just like some people are, what's the word, to medication, resistant to a lot of medication, like it just doesn't work for them. After much experimenting, it could be the same with this. I mean, she's launching things. It's you know we really enjoyed it. I'm sure we would continue to, perhaps. It's I just don't know to what level I want to take this. uh it's what I guess what my journey, um but it's she's been great to me. 9:15. Okay. So about an hour. Okay. And this came up a couple of days before, but I haven't seen them. But oh, this is very dry. The coffee seemed extra sweet, and it just didn't feel like, but really dry. And water didn't seem like it was doing much, or at least any of these colder. Mm. Welcome. So to summarize, well, maybe summarize. There's still going to be a bit of content. Somebody just tuned in. It was quiet for a little while there. You're still gonna. You can't please everybody, but you can be yourself. Um, and it's interesting because the first, and I was reading about how people associate songs with memories and this and that. I was reading a comment. I was going to send it to I've done the song pamphlet and this and that. So I'm talking to Monotone, and somebody experienced something kind of horrific while they were listening to it, and it stayed in their brain. And be authentic. There is only one person like you. Again, and I didn't. I took one capsule. But some people might be like, what did you take? Like, I need to know. Like, I don't want my loved one going through this, and I understand that it's legal. What I know, well, first of all, certain things are here. It's sold at the dispensary. I'm certainly not trying to get anybody in trouble, but we have bought from them. So one thing I've always often wondered, and I found out a couple of times, and one of the times reminds me of one of the people I was thinking about earlier, one of the followers actually. Where are you watching from? Because, yeah, like it's cool. um, I think the heart's on this side. I'm feeling very tight, and I'm not maybe in the best sitting seat with the best in the house with the best posture. Power of intention. Power of intention. Oh, that's BS. I've intended to do for a lot of things, and most of it hasn't happened. And I'm sorry to hear that. Just because people tell you you're perfect and they love you, just because you may feel a lot of confidence, doesn't mean you can't grow and be better. So you're perfect. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the you that you're creating? See, and the good thing is that there was people watching, and they were acting. This is the best show I've ever seen in a long time. Because I'm not going to boast. If I was seeing that while I was doing this, no, seriously, I don't want to say you could kill someone that way. I really don't. Just because I can't take me that way. Just kidding. But so you know, this is where we the quantity, baby, quantity, because there's value. And I was going to do this a little while ago, but this is why it's important to love and accept yourself and to know that value. If you are truly a beautiful person inside and out, and especially inside, but I'm human. We all have preferences and attractions, right? You know, but um, and that's okay. It's okay. Earlier, I was looking at these comments and it's like, well, they're all important. Like, what do I do? And this is a short lesson in teaching what's most important. At first, it highlighted the first two, I believe, gray. And I thought, okay, that's telling me something. That's telling me I should read that out here. I should read it to myself. I should both. And it's kind of like, well, you know what? As I said, anything can be important. Anything can be important. So that means you. I was talking about Mr. Rogers with. No, I think it was Mary, actually. But maybe she meant to see this. It would make her quite contrary. And somebody will see this to the end. It may be just me. It may be me, Glenn. It may be more than that. And I didn't even remember what I was going to say after that. But I tell you, it was going to be brilliant. Like, I'm not, I'm not joking. I'm not kidding around here, man. Oh God. But it is. It's kind of seeming very theatrical. But they said, one way or another, what you're meant to say, to who you're meant to say it, when, blah, 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 will be said. Will actually be said. Who's meant to. And as I was writing this, I was feeling it. Not deeply. Not deeply. And it would be very tiring to read all of them. And I feel like there's something telling me not to. And I felt it a couple times. But they sit high and proud. Anyway, keep it inside you. Don't let anyone find your feeling. I don't remember the rest. Oh, right. But you're never the only one. And far from it. You may not be the only one that does podcasts that are over an hour and you lose track of time whether you're tripping or not. But it's good to remember your schedule. But it's or you're someone that watches them all the time, a little here and there. Of the same podcast. I would like to wrap up this show by thanking our sponsors. um, Stay tuned. There might be an interesting prop in the next one. If it's really hard product placement not to do it, right? We might actually be getting a prize tonight that we won at something. Back when we were hoity-toity, but we've always been good. We've always been at least good. Oh, and what it takes to be yourself. Authentic. What it takes. Read that again. To be your true self and be the best you. I'm not expecting a call. Yeah, but you have ADHD. Hello? Hi? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, you can give the. They swapped it? Oh, okay. Big Fat George, thanks for the ticket. Sorry. No, we don't need it. I'm podcasting and feeling trippy, so make sure I don't come across too crazy or anything. I hope nobody's hearing your interject. You have to say we were talking about planes. We're going to buy a plane. Or organize it. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay. Okay, all right. But I didn't register the number, even the first three digits after the area code at first. Alabama. I'm going to tuck this. See, I'm careful even when I'm tripping. At least I'm trying to be. Oh, for frick's sake. Sorry. Pardon me. I really do plan to wrap this up, and I think I probably will soon, but who knows? I'm going to take that visualization question for just a moment. Okay. Oh, no, I got this. Almost this exact same spot, that song. This is what I'm doing. Or at least I did it. It's the sound of the man. Anyway. I wish I could swim like dolphins could swim. If we could be heroes for just one day. It's not that I can't sing a full song a cappella, but it's amazing to think if you think about songs you love, and if you were to take one lyric from each of those songs, actually, this is amazing idea. Happy birthday to you. I'll have to do that song later for it. Cause anyway, I think you get what I was getting more spam. I'm pretty sure. Undo from it. had a few of those lately where they seem to be sending some sort of attachment. But yeah, take a. And I had the time to do this. You have to give your time in the space if you decide to do something like this, or even are exploring it ever so slightly, because you do half the things I just did in public. It would not be good for you. That's not trying to imitate anybody in a mean way. Um, I know I'm doing that thing again. I use lotion. I use lotion. I should write the song. I'm not the only, not the only, not the only one to use lotion. To use lotion, never in their life. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, that would be a cool little project. And then you could do name that tune with it. I don't know if I've ever heard of a guess the lyric. I'm sure I have. Anywho, if not, I've started a trend. Now, initially when I started this video, there was a certain somebody whose show I was almost on, and I was pretty calm. I had also been promised, and then his communication issues and with his crew and him, it didn't happen. Blah blah blah, and I remember being very upset, mostly keeping it in, but somewhat letting it show, and that I was triggered by something on the radio. The guy named Ace. I remember his face, and he has seen me dancing. Dancing. Um, with a group, with a troop, not with me. And so at first I wanted to say, I'm so mad at this guy. Like I actually wanted to come here and say that. And I am. I am. I'm a man of my word. So was my dad. And he had said, even if we just, we have you both, and he hadn't seen most of our podcasts, he didn't really know us very well. He said, "Oh, we'll have you both, but you know, I can't remember the exact details. What I do remember is it got down to, and again, barely knowing me, never, I believe, having seen me, but if so, either saw me in the wrong light, or he's very much a media guy. He works in it. He gets around a lot, even though he's older. I don't know if he would really spend much time on videos. First of all, it's, for whatever reason, I'm always, trying to understand people as we all have to try to. Otherwise, we wouldn't make it through this world, you know. Um, you know, um, some people are better people than others, though. It is true. Some people, they can seem very competent, but they lack something that you would feel is a basic skill. Or as I went up the stairs earlier, I said, I can't. Oh, in fact, it was a certain someone himself. I've mentioned two people, so, but what the heck was it he said? And I just thought it sounded stupid. But then at the time, I was like, but there's something in that that sounds smart. So in everything that sounds stupid, there's actually something kind of smart, um, which is better than the duties. If it doesn't sound real, it's not true, or whatever like that. Or sorry, I thought I was writing. Yeah, if it doesn't, and I was watching, of course, it was just this morning. Um, a bit her new format, People's Court. Um, it's probably the very next tab. Maybe I should switch to doing that now. But um, yeah, so um, I hope that some of these thoughts that I didn't finish, partly because of the trip, partly because it only just heightened what was already there. That I know. Like I haven't forgotten, even though I know some has faded, but it highlighted, you know, what was already there for myself and, in general. And like I felt like I was in a play and I was on multiple floors, like it was a fancy thing, man. Be watching for it. If I don't put it on, I hope somebody put it on my legacy. And your legacy is the people who you meet, who you impact, who you touch, who you get to know deeply on some levels or another, um, who would do anything for you in this life or the next, or for you when you're in the next, to create something beautiful, to create legacies together. Um, See, I don't know if this is, I think it is in the edit. Hopefully, I've been able to complete my sentences either as I meant them. Let me know what ones you filled in, or what they maybe give me for you, um, or they'll be in a future podcast. I can't take myself especially for them. Without them, I was trying to get back on here because their system sucks and blah 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 blah. I don't think I can pour right now. Maybe over here, maybe over there. I don't think. Don't show him this part. He's gonna get so worried. That lid wasn't open. See, but I am pretty aware, and things will happen as they're meant to. And that, folks, is how you podcast. Put a little bit of water from one bottle in the next to get it to the perfect temperature. And I was worried about a certain puppet. And if you didn't catch it, you didn't catch it. And um, that might come into things. Hopefully they won't. But, and I think this is the last part that come on, feel the noise. No, I can't feel the noise right now. I'm finishing my podcast. I'll let you know how it feels later. I don't know. Most things aren't longer than this. Except for life itself. But this video will not be longer than life. It'll be larger than life. Just kidding. But chapastica. I love the Italians. I should have some lunch. It's 10:48. Will it still be 10:48 when I do this, or will have time went backwards? We can't go backwards. We can use it to shape us, but we always have to remember going forward. And being in the present and thinking, well, right, I was gonna have the lunch pass. I'm working on eating better. Right now, I'm picky, and could have. I was gonna have the pasta salad, but I hadn't had gnocchi in such a while, and even though because of the garlic being fried in the same pan as something spicy, the dish got spicy, sort of. you can alter that, but you can also enjoy the spice of life. um, and you hadn't had gnocchi in a while, and you would like some for lunch. So finish up your podcast, go and watch a show, eat your gnocchi, you know. Wow, I can't call myself an educator. I can call myself smart. But society has a way of concepting an art to where, if on paper or behind a business name, is the only place that you can live the life for which you came to live. What was that title I was going to make earlier? And it was going to say something, a lie. Not dark, it was rather beautiful. I can't recall. So I can't say I'm an educator. But if I ever do, if you ever want to talk yourself up, or actually say your truth is more like what it is, you could say, I am someone living a life that has had a lot of experiences and has had a lot of learning and such. And here's what I know. Here's some things I think I've figured out, is more like it. Here's some things I haven't. My dad says, what is planned for you, you will not very likely ever see it like you want to and need to and deserve to. And like we would love you to if you, all the beauties of the world, if you love me anyway. They are valid. They are valid. But, and if I have to summarize this and not actually show them this, if I show it back to them, just say, oh yeah, I don't think we want to go deep right now. But of course, you get me curious. So, how would I summarize it? But if you, um, there are some reasons why it's valid, why it would be very difficult. But I don't know if you heard it, because nobody's watching while I'm doing this. But right as I said that one bit and paused, I heard a car horn. And the area that what we live next, I mean, cars are everywhere, so I mean, that wouldn't be that uh odd, but it's a busier area kind of. And so Second time today I've looked. How this can look like for researchers or anyone else who really anyone should learn this stuff. So useful, perhaps life saving. Then I do a misclick. You got go to channel and or pin message. How did that happen? Those three dots, eh? Is that all I meant to do to that? Like I said, I'm learning. This is why maybe I'm learning editing as I'm learning editing, as I need to. You don't have to have pizzazz and this and that. The other night it showed we had musical talent. Few people noticed. Not as many as it said views, unless maybe some came back more than once and it would count that way on a different day or whatever. Or even like a different hour. I don't know how all this works. Life. We don't know how it works sometimes, right? Um, that was said in such a way, like, you know. But I love when I burst into song, and even when it's been long gaps, uh, you know, it makes this journey, it makes this ride. And I said it the other day, I don't know how some do it more than others. Some too much, they sing everything. Or almost, I mean, there's the sing-songy voices, and then there's the ones that just do it, and their family, or whatever, when they're being silly or their friends. And then there are singers. You're stuck in life and you want to help. And you got to keep this wild life. If you're stuck in life and you want to do things, not always, but most of the time, you'll go through what you need to, but if you repeat the same cycle, you think, well, I repeat the same cycle because I don't seem to have much choice, despite my efforts. If you, I don't know who's talking to me. Welcome. If you repeat the same cycle in your life all the time, to the point, of course, sometimes of not even realizing that you're doing it. I don't, podcasting could be an example, but they're like, oh yeah, that's right. I had a couple more things in my cycle. Minutes, hours, seconds, and the new baby is born. And he is now a babe. Looks like a lady. Last night and today, earlier last night, I think, though, or yesterday and today. And now my last day, we had to go upstairs. Where was I doing it? The stairs. I had that mirror thing. Dallas taught me that everybody leaves an imprint. I was thinking about somebody earlier. I can't remember who it was. There's been at least a couple, probably. And there could be so many more. Everybody leaves an imprint. Hey, buddy. We're here. How you doing? You having fun? She says, so you weren't sure if you were even going to podcast today. And even though you like it and you love it, sometimes you're disappointed. And also, that it's not as largely received as you might like. And says, and, or, about something or whatever. Um, that's a sign to possibly slow down. And this, I mean, if she'd asked me that question the other day about, I forget what it was, but it would be a different answer now. I don't even remember. Did I just say? No, I did say, yeah, I didn't say the question. I couldn't remember it, but it was good. And I pinned that. Anyone should learn this stuff. So useful. Who wants to live forever? Oh, that song recently. But none of us do, none of us do. Again, not shouting. A lesson for those who have loved. The art of letting go sometimes. Lesson for those who have a loved one who's on the autism spectrum. It's I don't want to look stupid for assuming that not everybody has loved ones. I mean, I know some have more than others, but you know. So I don't really want to say just for those who have a loved one. I'm looking at the live chats notes I put here and trying to say what do I want to put in the comment section as one little more blurb of text, even if it doesn't show up until after it's posted, which is still pretty instant. It's kind of, and I'm not I wasn't as angry as I sounded with that, I promise. Or was I? Just kidding. Um, I mostly feel the trip. I do feel very dry mouth, but I haven't exactly shut up either. I am a little bit hungry though. For those who have a loved one, yeah, but I don't want to. I know life's hard. It's gonna do what it do. No matter what somebody thinks or tries and wants, it's going to do what it does. And so and that's for people including that have or know someone on the autism spectrum, neat, just be creative, lighthearted, just like me. If you indeed see what that in them, then this video is for you. It's almost baked, folks. Get some butter. Get ready to butter me up. Just kidding. And let's celebrate together that we're making it through the day. People might not want to be called sensitive, even if they know they are. I'll say it. If anybody hears it, they hear it. If not, I don't think I'm going to get it all in, though. 13. I oughta. Because I did think I kept the chat for later. Whatever I did, I accidentally tagged myself. Relative. Chest feels a bit tight suddenly. How I came out of it. I don't think I'd want to experience that. She says, because then I'd have, well, we'd always have entertainment. But I don't know. Entertainment is okay that it's others. But we should create ourselves now. Yeah, I don't want everybody to get so popular on YouTube that they never come visit little old me again. But, I can't remember what the previous part was, but we have a story. So whether you do it in the comments, whether you start uploading videos, let me know if you do. Whether you already do upload videos about it, I'd be curious, because I'm not only meant to be the interviewee. In fact, I wasn't there yet. I was actually meant to be the interviewer and ride upon a chariot.